It's 7 years now from 2017, and I'll be sharing a little bit about my story, about how I came across or started to use vision boards as a goal setting tool, and how through the years there's been some inspiration with people. In fact, right now today, I just got a text from one of my previous participants who put on his vision board that he wanted to get married, and today he's having his traditional wedding. And so what a amazing day for us to have it simultaneously, where we are learning about vision boards here in the room, but somebody is literally manifesting something on their vision board. So I'm very proud. So the power of vision boards, the masterclass right now we are on. I want you to type in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, guests from wherever you are. If money, people's opinions, fear, your ego weren't a factor, what would you do? What would you be? Where would you go? And you can go crazy with it. Here, our dreams are valid. Here, we can be whatever we want to be because of the fact that we know that we can manifest those things. So I would like to see it in the chat as an area of interaction between myself and you as we interact at the end with the Q&A. Travel the world, Louise, thank you for that. What else do we have? Do we have anything? Do we have any dreamers? In the chats, are we there? All right, I'll pick them up as we go. I want to introduce my brand and the reason why we're here. And this is my brand. It's called Tusame. In local Tonga language, it means let's dress, let's get prepared, let's be intentional. It just looks a little bit fancy, but it literally just means that. And that's what we're really being or doing in this session. We're literally trying or making sure that we're intentional about our dreams, we're intentional about our feelings, we're intentional about our thoughts so that we can then manifest. So I want to just introduce you to this label, and through this label, I've gone to manifest different things. One of them is a line of bath salts that I'm just showing here. I'm very proud to say that I've manifested this because it was a big dream that I put on my vision board, which I'll be showing you just now. And I just want to talk to the business owners and the people that have been holding on to that project that they are failing to just give to the world. Your dreams are valid. That idea is important. And without somebody thinking about that idea or thinking about that business, we wouldn't have had the world that we have. Thoughts are the cradle of our world. And I hope that at the end of this session, I will inspire you enough to at least take one step to post or put something on your vision board and then begin to manifest. So like I said, I've hosted vision board parties for different people. I've hosted for children. We had a children's vision board event just 2 weeks ago. I was excited to be amongst the preteens and see how interesting their minds are. And this is one of our sessions that we had. I've hosted vision board parties with couples. We had a couples vision board party in about February, and it was a great way in which couples learned how to communicate and learned how to actually compress their dreams together or put their dreams together as a couple. And so this was actually one of the events that I've been looking to manifest for a very long time, and it was very nice to see that it manifested. We've also done vision board parties for corporates, just to align the corporates on what they want and individuals in those companies on what they also want, because without vision, we perish. Without people saying, okay, my vision is this, my vision is that, let us align, people won't go anywhere. So this is basically some of the aspects that we talked about or that we've had in line with vision boards. And one of my stories is that I have manifested a big part of my dream from my 2019 vision board. I talk about one of the scriptures of old that says, let the visionary write down the vision and make it plain so that the visionary can then run with that vision. And even though it takes long, the visionary will still interact with that vision and it will happen. And this is what happened to me when I manifested. In 2019, I put on my vision board some ridiculous things, as you can see there. But one of the things that I put was that I wanted to attain the Zambian bar. And last year, after 3 years almost, I then manifested. And so even though the aspects on your vision board may take a while, they'll definitely happen, especially if you're using your vision board well, which we'll talk in a little bit into. We'll get right into it and talk about vision and understanding vision. Vision is very important because it's a very big component of vision boards. Vision is a vivid and mental image. It is what you see when you're not seeing, when you close your eyes and you think and look deep down in your heart. And some of these things that you've even told me in the chat or that you've written down, I hope you have a pen and a paper, where you are saying, when I see myself in 10 years, when I see myself in 5 years, when I see myself now, I see A, B, C, D. And these are vivid and mental pictures. It's the perception, the outlook, imagination, intuition. It's seeing the beginning or seeing the end from the beginning. And so I want to talk into a little bit of your creativity, because if you're in this room, then you're definitely into the creative aspect, I hope. Imagination is a very important tool that we have. There is no other animal that has the element of imagination, and having the imagination then manifest into something tangible. Ladies and gentlemen, thoughts are things. And so when we think about our imagination and when we look at creation, our creator created us from his imagination and created us with the element of imagination. I always think about or talk about how our mental faculties are so strong or are so attentive to the things that we think about. And we'll be talking a little bit about that as we talk about vision continued. Ladies and gentlemen, the laws of attraction. And I know in culture now, people don't like to hear what you reap is what you sow and the law of karma and this, that, and the other. But I believe that those are principles that govern the world that we are in. When you reap a seed, a mango seed, you can't get an avocado. It's just the way it is. And so if you're thinking things or you're downplaying things about yourself, hey, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't get that, I can't do that. And yes, I'm not going to be whimsical about it. Life is life. But the fact of the matter is that we have been built with a certain stamina, mind, body, and soul that allows us to grasp or manifest the things that we think about, the things that we put to our minds. And that's why the scripture of old will say, think about what is true, think about what is honorable, what is pure, what is lovely, what is excellent, and fix your eyes or fix your mind on them. There's a reason why the scriptures of old have told us to look and make sure that we are attentive about the things that we think about. A person will eat the fruit of their lips. One of the elements that we have at the physical vision board parties or events that we have is that we do show and tell. We do show and tell. Sometimes people think that it's an element of public speaking, but sometimes people think that we just do show and tell just for the sake of it. But I always tell participants, it's to now begin to bring the element of the law of attraction, to begin to sow those seeds of you now beginning to start taking steps to getting the things that you want, which is by talking, by saying. Our words, they have power. And that's why even scriptures of old will say, gentle words, healing words are a fountain of life, but crushing words or negative words crush the spirit. And I'm happy that we're talking to Toastmasters, because Toastmasters then use their words to then build things that they want to see, becoming better communicators, becoming better speakers. And that's actually even a manifestation, if you ask me, of somebody being intentional of the things that they want to really get. And so most people don't take time to pause and ask themselves what they really, really want, because we're just being tossed and turned by life. But what I just want to believe, or what I believe, is that you have to be a stakeholder in your own happiness. We have an element to take control, and through the element or the power of vision boards, we are allowed to dream. And who said that dreaming is not free? Dreaming is free. You can dream about that thing that you want. You can dream about that business. You can dream about traveling the world, and even be more specific when you want to do it, because you can, and because your dreams are valid. And so I want you to think with me as we get into the next segment. What do you really want? What do you really want at the core of your being? Is it happiness? Is it becoming healthy? Is it becoming well? What is it that you really want? And when you begin to be honest with yourself and take time to really think and not be distracted even for 5 or 10 minutes, and then begin to work out even using the tool of vision boards, we then begin to see what we can manifest. Like I talked about, you are a soul, you have a mind, you have a body. You have to make sure that every faculty is in a sense in tandem. Your thoughts have to be in tandem with your actions, because sometimes we think that we can think nasty thoughts and our physical or our physicality won't go towards those things. Remember, you can't, like I said in the last session, you can't fool your mind. You can't say, oh, I'll think about this, I'll think about A, but do B. Everything must be centered. So those are some of the things that we'll be looking to. Now, vision boards. A vision board. I don't know how many people in the room, 13 of us, I like that it's a bit intimate now. How many of us in this room have ever attempted to make a vision board, or have made a vision board before, or have tried and have failed? Anything? Anybody? Any hands in the room? Or do I have people who have never even heard about it in their lives? Anybody in the chats? All right, I hope that we've tried to do vision boards, and if this is your first time, know that you are in good company. Making a vision board is not difficult, and I'll be showing you how easy it is to make a vision board in just a bit. But it's always important, and even in our sessions, it's always important to just break down what vision boards are, and then go into what elements we can use to create them, and the power of what they can be. So a vision board is basically, I like to use it as I like to say it is a goal setting tool. So it is a goal setting tool to create the things that you really want. Sometimes we write things down, New Year's resolutions, and then we just fold them up and put them in our diaries, and then we forget. But the secret, or the beauty about vision boards, is that you can literally take them and literally just put pictures, no matter how ridiculous they may be. Ridiculous to others, of course, not ridiculous to you, and you can hang them up and interact with your visions and your goals in a very interesting fashion, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So it's basically a collage, a collection of specific pictures about your career, about your job, about your life, your health, wellness, anything. It can be anything. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, your family, anything that evoke a feeling, a good feeling, that when you interact with them, and somebody talked about visualization in the last session, where you begin to visualize those things, visualize these things that you put on your vision board, and they begin to manifest. Why? Because your psychology is so powerful. I always give this example. If you think about someone that you haven't seen in a long time, and I think it's happened to you probably, I hope it has, as a good example. You haven't seen Sharon in so long, and that day you're walking in Pick n Pay with your trolley, and there, lo and behold, Sharon is there, or you see her drive past. That is how powerful your mind is. Psychology, your mind, body, and soul. And of course, health and wellness gurus have tried to scientifically coin what is the correlation. But basically what it is standard is that the principle is that our minds are powerful, and thoughts are things, literally. When we look at the world that we live in, the content, we look at TikTok, we look at Facebook, we look at even just the socials, on how people's minds can become things and how people are creating businesses and wealth through their thoughts. So it's really a great way to put the law of attraction into work, using words of affirmation, using pictures that make you feel good or feel in line with the things that you want to manifest. Like I said, it's a great goal-setting tool. And when you surround yourself with images of who you want to become, what you have, where you want to live, the circumstances begin to change to match those images and desires that you've placed on your vision board. Your attention is that powerful. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want us to be intentional or aware in this moment that your mind, especially when you use it right, is very powerful and it can do wonders for you. And one of the tools that we use to actually put the thoughts into things is vision boards. A vision board really helps you to keep your goals and dreams at the back of your mind. Well, I've said at the back of your mind, but literally in the front. I have a vision board. I have about 6 vision boards since I've started the vision board parties, and I call them vision board parties or vision board events. We have physical events where I facilitate vision board events or parties, and through all that, I always try and make my own vision board for whichever area I have. I just showed you, but I always tell participants at the end of it, after show and tell, and after they decide to speak those visions into being, I always say it's important for you to always interact with your vision board. Have your vision board in a place that you are constantly interacting with. In my room, it's right before me as I'm going for a meeting or dressing up. I'm looking at it and I'm interacting with it. If you're going to put it underneath your chair, underneath your bed, underneath wherever, and you throw it away in the back of your boot, unfortunately, you won't manifest. So we are in a season of reviewing those vision boards that we've had or that we've made, whether it's virtually in the virtual space using Pinterest or any other app, and also having the physical vision boards. I always ask when participants who come to me and say, I'm not manifesting, I ask them, where did you put your vision board? And so if you have a vision board right now, please put it in a place that you constantly interact with it. They allow you to have a clear vision of where you want to go, what you want to accomplish, and they help you believe it's possible, because you literally, and that's why one of the reasons why we have a community is that people can literally say the most outrageous things and nobody would judge them. But if you tell your friends sometimes, oh, I want to go skydiving, or I want to get on a balloon, people sometimes look at you as if you've lost it. But it's a community now where you can believe it's possible, because it is possible. The desires that you have that have been put in your heart are for you to manifest. Your dreams are valid, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, write down the vision and make it plain on tablets so that the visionary can run with it. And even though it takes long, it will manifest. It will manifest. Vision boards provide us with a daily visual reminder of our dreams and our goals, because you visually see them every day. Those words of affirmation that you put on your vision board, that I have put on my vision board, the day that I'm feeling demotivated, saying, Lise, or you can do this, or you can have this, or you are a victorious person. Those words of affirmation hold you accountable to the person that you want to be. Thank you so much. I really look forward to seeing your vision boards. I really look forward to seeing your vision boards. Now, sometimes people have discredited vision boards because they seem whimsical. And let me just slightly debunk that theory. There is an element of wonder when it comes to vision boards. It's very true. Whereas you look at your vision boards, you put it up and things just start to pop. Somehow somebody brings that thing that you put, somehow you find yourself like me in one of the, or manifesting many things at one time or the other. But most often than not, one thing that I've learned in the 6 years of facilitating vision board parties and going is that sometimes most times actually, you must do something. If it means applying to that school that you want to apply to because you want to get your master's, if it means putting in the time to work towards that dream that you had. You saw the previous picture with me holding or with that wig on. I had to do many sleepless nights to manifest that goal. But the fact of the matter was that it was right before me. And when I would see it and I feel demotivated, it would hoist me to want to put in more work in that goal or in that picture, or that picture that evoked so much goodness when I saw that smiling advocate there. So we must do something, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a vision board, most often, like I said, it can happen by so many elements. Somebody just bringing that thing, you attracting somebody in your life, or doing the thing that you really want to manifest, but you must do something. Sometimes we miss opportunities because they just look like it's work. So I want to implore you to do something. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk a little bit about my story with vision boards and the power of vision boards, because this is the session on the power of vision boards. In 2017, I created this vision board. This was my first vision board. I actually should bring it out one of these days. And the story to this vision board, to just give it a bit of context, was that in 2017, I was having a very terrible time. I didn't make enough points to get into the 4th year of my law degree program. And because of that, I had to take another year. So how my university would do it was that if you don't get enough points, you have to redo the year. So I, in essence, had to repeat a whole year. And I was very devastated, especially as a young woman who was ambitious and always saw myself to always be going from one level to the other. And so for me, I was devastated because my academics were a big part of my dream. Coming from a background where, you know, your parents are retired, education literally was the cradle of my dreams. And so to see it to some extent be snatched away like that was quite devastating to me. But I took it all in stride and tried to do many other things as I usually do. And I found myself doing a business venture. I mean, I had a whole gap year, or I had a gap year, and I then decided, let me do something with it. So I met a lady and she wanted to do a business exhibition in another town, 9 hours from where I was. And so we put monies together and I went off with her. It was terrible. We made no money. We made losses. No one even came to our food stand. It was so bad. And so when we were coming back 9 hours later, or after that 9 hours trip, when I sat in that bus and we began to just talk about the things that we learned from that trip, we began to talk about different things. And one of the things that we spoke about was the secret. I'll be showing a video later on the secret on vision boards. But we talked about the secret, and we both lit up as we talked about the law of attraction and how it's important to manifest. And then we spoke about vision boards. At that time, I never had done a vision board. And she told me about what vision boards are and how she did a vision board and how her life has just been different with her manifesting the elements on her vision board. And I said, oh, okay. So I got home, and as you can see, it was just an old calendar that I just got, and I just started to post things. I put some money there. I put a few zeros because I heard one of the people in the video talk about putting zeros, and I put SAA. I don't know if you can see it from there. And I put bags, and I put flying, and I put a person with a spa. And now I have manifested the aspect of the spa because I'm now doing bath salts, so Tusame is doing bath salts. So I've manifested that. And also I put a ferry. So I just literally put random things. As you can even see there's some Dubai, there's I think the Khalifa there, golf. I literally just put anything on my vision board, on this 2017 vision board. I put Germany, I put imagination, I said divine surprises, and there I was. I can't say, ladies and gentlemen, that my life just immediately just started to shoot up. No, I actually had a few more other blows to that year. It wasn't a great year, but somehow I just decided to continue do the work. I applied to a few things here and there, applied to a few. I just wanted to make sure that my time was being used well. Fast forward, one of the applications that I applied for was to go to the US to do a fellowship. I literally was just applying to anything and everything at the time. But why this story is relevant, ladies and gentlemen, is because some of the things that I put on my vision board began to manifest. And this is the reason why we are sitting here in a masterclass. So that SAA picture that I put, I manifested it. For some reason, we used SAA from here, Lusaka, to, we went to Washington, as you can see there. SAA was the vehicle, and we went with it through and through. And so when I saw that, I began to scratch my head a little bit, and I said, no. Is this how it works? But then I just brushed through it and just went with it in stride. The next thing that I feel that happened, which was a very interesting moment for me, was this picture. On my vision board, like you saw, there was like a picture with an aeroplane in the sunset. And when we're in transit and I saw this particular, it wasn't the exact Emirates, but this aeroplane that I saw in the horizon, for me, gave me an element of, wow, I'm manifesting this thing. It's actually happening to me. And I took a picture because I needed to just document that. And I took several pictures. And one of the other things that happened also with my story was that we got on a ferry to see Lady Liberty here. So the ferry ride for me was very significant because it was a ship. And on my vision board, there was a ship. And so there were very interesting things that were happening at the very same time in the space of 6 weeks from a vision board that I had done some 2 months before and had stuck on my wall just very randomly. And so on this trip, I said, there's no way I can't tell people about the power of vision boards. And from that time, 2017, we've held over almost 100 participants in the vision board workshops, ranging from children, like I said, people in the rural areas, couples, and beyond. Here we are having a masterclass. And so when I look at the power of vision boards, the wonder that it has, there is, of course, some work that is tied to it, but there is a wonder because of how our minds are wired. On this journey, I was an ambassador for my country and went to the Supreme Court, went to different places, and here we are today in a masterclass. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as we just go into a video that will be playing, and then we'll have a Q&A to just interact on what your thoughts are on vision boards and how best I can help you manifest or align your goals in a vision board to manifest. I just want to say thank you and say that your dreams are valid and they can manifest. And it doesn't matter what they are. I literally just put a ferry and put aircrafts and was like, oh, okay. And yes, they did manifest. There was some work that happened, but there is a wonder with what our minds can do. And so your dreams are valid. I don't want you to ever put them on the side burner and say, no, that's too outrageous. Somebody said they wanted to build a mall from the last session. It can happen. It will happen. And I hope that you enjoyed this session as much as I did, sharing my knowledge on the power of vision boards as we take some time to just do the video. Zoom Master, if you can just end the video before the Oprah part starts. Thank you so much. As our Zoom Master is coming, do we have any questions? Anybody? Okay, the video is coming.
In 1995, I started to create something called a vision board, where I take something that I would want to achieve or something that I want to attract, like a car or a watch or the soulmate of my dreams, and I'd put a picture of what I wanted up on this board called the vision board. And every day I would sit in my office and I would look up at this board and I would start to visualize. I would really get into the state of having already acquired it. I was getting ready to move, and so we put all the furniture, all the boxes, put into storage. And I made 3 different moves over a period of 5 years. And then I ended up in California and bought this house, renovated it for a year, and then had all the stuff brought from my former home 5 years earlier. One morning, at 7:30 in the morning, my son comes into my office, and one of the boxes that was sealed for 5 years was right at the doorstep. And my son, Keenan, was sitting on the box, banging away at the box. And I said, "Sweetheart, will you please stop me? I'm doing some work here." And he says,
"What's in the boxes, Daddy?"
and I said, "Well, honey, those are my vision boards."
"What's a vision board?"
I said, "Well, it's where I put all my goals up. I cut them out and I put all my goals up as something that I want to achieve in my life." And of course, at 5.5 years old, he didn't understand it. So I said, "Sweetie, let me just show you, because that'll be the easiest way to do it." And so I cut the box open. And when I pulled up the vision boards, there was a picture on there of a home that I was visualizing 5 years earlier. And what was shocking to me was we were living in that house, not a house like it. I had bought my dream home, renovated it, and didn't even know it. But I looked at that house, I started to cry because I was just blown away.
"Why are you crying?"
"Honey, I finally understand how the law of attraction works. I finally understand the power of visualization. I finally understand everything that I've read, everything that I've worked with my whole life, the way I've built companies. It worked for my home as well. And I bought our dream home and didn't even know it."
Let's talk about what it means to dream.
Thank you so much. I forgot to unmute. Happens to the best of us. There is a link that the Zoom master will share in the chat. You can then use to put in your email addresses and give me feedback on this session and see how best we can then interact going forward. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions? I think we have some good time. I'm happy that we have time. I really am looking forward to interacting with you. Do we have any questions? Maybe check the chat. Somebody asked, do you recommend any particular digital platform for your vision board? I would recommend that you use, I think Pinterest has got some very good aspects that you can use to help with creating a collage or a digital vision board. I haven't, I'll be honest, I'm still very traditional and like to flip through the magazines and cut out things and post them. But I do know that with some people that I have interacted with and collaborated with, Pinterest is a great tool that you can use to create a virtual vision board. And then you can put it on your phone in a place that you are constantly interacting with, on your desktop, on your phone, on your iPad, and you're just constantly seeing it because you have to constantly have an interaction with. So yes, thank you so much for that question, Louise, and thank you so much for coming to this session. Do we have any other questions? Any other comments about the session, about vision boards, how they've worked in the past? Anybody? You can just unmute, it's okay.
Hi, Liseli.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Thank you so much for such an informative session. I had done vision boards before, but what I learned today is that I need to interact with that vision board on a daily basis. Now, what I'm wanting for you to unpack a little bit more is on the manifestation, because I've heard a lot about manifestation. What exactly is it? What do you do? And, you know, how does that really work?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. We didn't really go into manifestation and visualization because it was just very compact with the power of vision boards. But on the aspect of manifesting is literally you attaining elements of your vision board. That's really the long and short of it. That's really when somebody says, hey, I've manifested, like I spoke just about me manifesting, in a sense, the aspects of becoming or getting to the bar. That's really what manifesting is. It's really now the journey to manifest is where now we talk about making sure that you put in the work, you are interacting with your vision board, you are creating good or being intentional about your thoughts, even coming in when you're even interacting with that vision board. Sometimes I found that people will cut out something, put it on their vision board and won't even believe that they'll even attain that thing. And I always tell my participants and even people in the room, you can never lie to your mind. You can never lie to yourself. And so when you interact with that vision board and you see that you put Barbados, when you really wanted to go to China for your master's, your mind will reject that and you won't manifest. So I always tell people to be true to themselves, because you can never really lie to yourself. You can never actually lie to yourself. You can create something beautiful as in a collage and we can all clap for you. But in regarding to elements of you actually manifesting, you can't lie to yourself. And so that's really what manifesting is. I hope I've unpacked it a little bit for you.
Thank you so much. That was very helpful.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions? I want to ask if there's anybody who has made a vision board and they are just like, I made it and I feel like it didn't work. Like it didn't work for me. I just feel like it was just taking up space. So does anybody, or is there anybody in the room who has that background?
Hi,
Hello?
Miss Eddie.
Hi.
I just have a question. I'm not sharing about my experience. I have never done a vision board, but I'm trying to think, how does it relate to your belief? Let's say I just black without like having to evoke some form of belief or that.
Yes.
Does this relate or it doesn't matter?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, 100%. I'm a believer myself, and any other person who believes in any other thing, I believe that when it comes to vision, and vision is in the cradles of most belief systems. But I myself, I'm a Christian and I'm a believer. And I look at the law of attraction as a cornerstone throughout a scripture, in the sense that what I just even brought, a man will eat the fruit of their lips, think about what is good, what is perfect. The scripture is actually even telling us about the law of attraction, in that what you think about is what you have, what you put in is what you get out. It's not magnets, it's not opposite attracts. And so scriptures of old have always keyed us into the laws of attraction, even aspects of visualization and vision. Let the visionary write the vision plainly so that the vision can run with it. Those are all scriptural. So I've seen it throughout, or even in my journey. I've always used vision boards even to center my spirituality. And it can also work in other areas or other people that are also spiritual in other sense, because it's vision boards, thinking about what is good, making sure that certain elements, you reap what you sow, are cut across religion, sorry to use ums and ahs, religion and areas of spirituality. So I myself, from that background, know that I know without a shadow of a doubt that when I look at my scriptures, the law of attraction has always shone a big light on vision boards for me. So I hope that answers your question to some extent.
It does. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Do we have any other? Any other questions? All right, Zoom Master, how much time do we have? Zoom Master, are you there?
Yes, we have 19 seconds before the room closes.
Oh, 19 seconds. Okay, let me just say my goodbyes then. For most of us, I hope that one day we can interact in person and share notes about vision boards, but I hope that I have at least given you something to start.
Hanging out together for so long, now we are starting to think alike. We were in the same session. I had a good time. How was yours, Selena?
What did you think about when he said to us that it's important to monitor your thoughts? More like think about what you're thinking about. That was a revelation and a half for me.
I took note of that one. I actually liked that. Also, when he said that, take time to write down whatever you're going through, evaluate yourself, always ink it. I like that. The one that I also liked is when the chips are down. Okay, I mean, paraphrasing, but when the chips are down, you are your own cheerleader. I like that one too, because many a time things get rough and you have to cheer yourself on.
I will forever be grateful for this organization called Toastmasters. We learn a lot without doing much really. And I'm grateful to the people that give this sort of trainings just to open up our minds a bit. I am full as I'm standing here because of everything that I had to take in the sessions that I've attended.
Same here, Modi, same here. I'm rich of information so far from the 4 sessions that I've taken. The notes, I can't wait to go back to them. I can't wait to receive the emails from the trainers. I can't wait to engage with them, because remember, everyone on the call right now, there is a way to connect with all these experts via LinkedIn, social media, and that's one way we can get to know each other. It's just one click away, one button away, and let's do that so we can get to learn more from them.
Absolutely. I'm loving that very much. But I'm sad to say that this marks the end of the masterclass sessions. What we're going to do next is to play a game. And I'm wishing those that are feeling lucky win today. May the best man or woman win. Who are we going to give over to, Shingerai, to conduct the game session?
Well, games are always good. After hearing so much, the brain is overloaded with information. It's always time to relax. Although I never seem to have time to play games, I'll always have a game. I have a PS, which I haven't played in years, I think. Suddenly today, I think amongst Toastmasters, this is the best way to have a game or to play a game. And doing this game is none other than the Kahoot. And playing this is going to be